What's going on, guys? I'm Icy Rhythms, and this is my review for Red Dead Redemption.
Hello, old friend. It's been a long time. I'm back. More where that came from!
Red Dead Redemption is still one hell of a game 10 years later, and its visuals still hold up extremely well. This game was amazing looking in 2010, and it's still amazing looking now when we consider how much time has gone by. Sure, Red Dead Redemption 2 looks a whole generation and at times then some better than this game, as it should. I mean, who the hell was expecting Rockstar, of all developers, to make Red Dead Redemption 2 8 years later, and it only looks a little bit better than the last one? I know I wasn't one of those guys. I give them all the credit in the world. The lighting in this game in particular still looks really, really good. The way it pierces through certain objects like trees, for example, is still breathtaking. Some nice attention to detail that I don't think many mentioned before, and definitely something that I know I didn't catch before, whether it be because I wasn't looking for it or just the poor resolution on PS3. In a certain light, law enforcement NPCs have a badge, and you can kind of see that shine or that glimmer from that badge, and I just didn't see that before, something I didn't catch, and I don't think a lot of games even now are still doing little nice attention to detail on the clothes like that. I mean, it's pretty impressive. I was like, whoa, like, how did I miss this amazing attention to detail? It's Rockstar. What was I thinking? The character models still look great in most cases. The environments still look really good. The animations on the characters, different things happening in those environments, as well as some of the wildlife, is an achievement. It was definitely an achievement at the time. I would say it's still a pretty tremendous achievement, all things considered, because this game is still doing things with visuals and animations that most games still aren't doing now a decade later. When Rockstar makes a game, you know you're getting the full package, and the visuals will never suck. I just don't think this game looks all that dated. Is it dated to some extent? Sure, but to what extent is going to vary depending on who you ask. This game was certainly a leap over stuff like San Andreas or GTA 4, but only one of those released in the same generation, so it's not like, a completely fair comparison. Max Payne 3 still looks great too, but less impressive considering the scope of each game. I'm playing the game on the Xbox One X, and with the ability to play this at 1440p, this is about as close as we've ever come to a stable PC version, just given the fact that I can play at that resolution alone. It's 30 FPS, but an extremely solid 30 FPS with really good frame times. Not a whole lot of dipping there. I had a couple of dips, but nothing that ruined the experience. I think what surprised me most is some of those dips came just from riding around on the horse and not when there was a lot of action on screen. So this is really, really well done on the X. It was best played on Xbox 10 years ago, and at the time of making this review, it's still best played on the Xbox platform. I don't regret playing my original purchase on the PS3. I love this game. If you want to see why I praise these visuals, and you own an Xbox One of some kind and have never played Red Dead Redemption, fire this game up. Rockstar was the best then, and I think for many, including myself, still the best now when it comes to things like world building and animations. You can find this super cheap, super cheap, and it's completely worth it for the visuals and the technical achievement alone.
See? That's how you do it.
Shit, I guess my sights are out of line.
There weren't a lot of times or games that I was more excited for than something like Red Dead Redemption. I remember being very excited for stuff like Grand Theft Auto 4, Gears of War 2, and Fallout 4. One of those, of course, was a huge disappointment for me. Red Dead Redemption came at a time when I was just starting to make YouTube content on an older channel, making all kinds of new friends, and one of the first things we did was hop online, but the game had a lot of issues, growing pains, and I really just wanted to play the single player experience and see what Rockstar had done with the gameplay. I didn't know what to expect. I thought it could be what everyone was saying, maybe just Grand Theft Auto with horses, but it's more than that. Mission structure and quest lines are very similar, but they play very differently, as they should considering the time period. I think the early game can throw people off a little bit. Some people could possibly get bored. You get off the train, you're immediately greeted by this full living, breathing town that's very believable, and then you get on your horse, you watch this sunset as you ride to find Bill Williamson. You later wake up at the McFarlane Ranch and are more or less forced into doing things I think many people probably don't want to do. It's like, hey, check out our beautiful game and this awesome town and this amazing huge open world that you can now explore. Okay, wait, before we do that, can you herd some cows? Can you patrol the ranch at night and protect it from scumbags and coyotes? Hey, want to learn how to lasso a horse? Too bad, you're gonna do that as well. Stuff like that is gonna throw a lot of people off that don't have the patience and they have that need for almost immediate satisfaction. If you're not keeping your average gamer interested in the first 30 minutes to an hour, you've probably lost a lot of players. Thankfully, you don't spend a lot of time doing stuff like this and quickly get into the gunplay. One of the first things you realize when jumping from GTA 4 to Red Dead Redemption is how much they improved the movement, the cover system, and just the overall use of weapons in general. Grand Theft Auto 4 still feels really good in my opinion, but Red Dead Redemption nearly perfected what I think GTA 4 was trying to do, and Max Payne 3 did perfect what both were going for. Right from the jump, you notice the attention to detail and just how different all the guns look, sound, and feel. Feel is very important here. You really feel how brutal and impactful shooting enemies in this game is. It always felt like a video game, but also very grounded to me at the same time. It's not just something you can feel and hear either. The aftermath of the gunshots is amazing. These wounds look like that shit hurt. A lot of them sort of mushroom out, and it's just a super cool effect that Rockstar went the extra mile for. Even the way the enemies' bodies react to being shot is impressive. There was one enemy that was running toward cover, and after I shot him, he still had momentum and flipped over that area. I'm very impressed. I'm easily impressed by small things like that, but I also thank Rockstar for that sort of attention to detail. Deadeye is still one of your best friends in the game. Not using Deadeye to me isn't a crime, and I don't blame those that prefer not to use it. For me, seeing 4 or 5 consecutive headshots so quickly is just awesome to watch. Rockstar also greatly improved the movement for the cover system in Red Dead Redemption. Some people struggled a bit with GTA 4. I didn't have a lot of those issues, but that game is far from perfect. And let's face it, I get what Rockstar was going for in Red Dead Redemption 2, and in many ways, I do prefer it. I do prefer many things about the controls in that game, but the original here with Red Dead Redemption, for me, it does control quite a bit better. That's all subjective, again, all opinions, but I just feel like it does control better than Red Dead Redemption 2. There is so much to do here, even after all this time, 10 years later, a lot of other games are still playing catch up to games like this. It's not just about go grab the new mission from, say, the Marshal and complete it. It's more than that. There are bounties to complete, just like you've seen in Red Dead Redemption 2. They're a little less interesting here because a lot of times the enemies and your bounty are all just kind of standing around doing nothing, whereas Red Dead Redemption 2 feels a little more believable in those moments because enemy camps, with or without a bounty, will have long conversations with each other. They'll be sleeping and warming themselves and different foods by the fire. It's pretty incredible. But the bounties are still really fun and a great way to earn some extra cash in the early game. Anytime you can shoot things in Red Dead, it's a good time. Rockstar seems to know better than most how to make that part of their games really fun. Skinning animals and selling their parts is a great way to earn money in Red Dead, but crafting and using a lot of those things for making specific items in the game isn't very relevant here. Some of you may miss that if you've never played this one but played Red Dead 2. Others may not care. You can also play poker and Liar's Dice if those sound interesting. I don't remember playing a lot of Liar's Dice when I originally played this on PS3. I find it kind of fun because it's a game of both truth and deception. If everyone at the table still has all of their dice and you have all of yours, say you end up with 3 6s, it's safe to assume that at least one other guy has 1 6, so you would bet something like 3 or 4. Sometimes the AI will call you out and say, nah, there's no way there's 4 6s on this table, and when they're proven wrong, they lose one of their dice. Poker is still very much poker, and a lot of you are familiar with that. The same for blackjack, and between the two, I prefer poker. Probably has something to do with the fact that I've always had a lot more luck with poker, but that could just be me. I'll be honest, I don't really care much for the horse racing or things like horseshoes at all. I think just that kind of stuff isn't my thing. So outside of missions where it was more or less required that you do it, I didn't do much of those. The horse racing is okay, I guess. It can be fun, and I love that Rockstar has given us what is basically the best horse riding and animations in all of gaming with both Red Dead 1 and 2, but I just get this urge to cheat and shoot all of my opponents off of their horses. That could also just be me. Rockstar also implemented what are, I would say, these dynamic side activities in which a random NPC will approach you and ask for help. Hey, can you go kill this thief that just took my money? Can you go and dispose of this guy that just stole my horse? And then there's the damsel in distress type of activities where you hear a woman cry out for help only to have 4 or 5 enemies waiting to jump you and blow you away. When it's all said and done, the women will beg for their life. Oh, please, they made me do it. I really needed the money, so I agreed to help. Oh no, sir, don't hurt me, I swear. After this time, I'll change my life and become a singer. Are you kidding me? Yeah. I shot all of those frauds too. I don't have time to listen to your excuses, lady. Get this bullet in your head, scum. I believe this is one of the better structured Rockstar games because of the mission variety and number of things that you can do. Sometimes you'll ride across the entire map just to bring someone an item, or another mission may have you riding shotgun with Bonnie McFarlane to buy some ranch items in town. You may ride shotgun with Wes Dickens and shoot 15 to 30 enemies off their horses because he's being called out for being a fraud. And yes, he is a fraud. Some of the missions will have you riding to set homes on fire with a Molotov. A big thing for me in this game is, in some ways, I think it came at a much better time in gaming, or maybe I should say game development. There is a tiny bit of stealth here in Red Dead Redemption. Not a lot. I promise it's not a lot. In my experience, maybe 2 or 3 missions had stealth. So many games today rely on stealth elements because they don't know any other way to make a mission interesting. Again, Red Dead only has a few of those, and because of that, they don't overstay their welcome. Gameplay in Red Dead Redemption, people, is still exceptional. It's a lot of fun. I had a smile on my face almost every second during my playtime, and I didn't even mention a lot of the other stuff like stranger missions, one in which you meet Death himself. It's just this game is still incredible. It's still tons and tons of fun.
You know, gentlemen, this man here, oh, he married a whore. Used to ride with us. We all had her. Oh, but he married her.
Gus seen me a couple of them rustlers. I think it was the Ballard twins and a couple of Mexicans.
They up there right now?
Well, it was a group of poor men rounding up Mr. Gulch's livestock, and none of them looked like any of Gulch's hands, so yes, sir, right now.
That sarcasm's most unbecoming, Eli. It's gonna hold you back in life, even worse than your lazy eye.
I know it's been 10 years, and some may say, go ahead, spoil the whole damn thing. Those that didn't play it, that's their own fault. Those of you that love Red Dead Redemption 2 and you never played this should still play this game. So that's playing a huge role as to why I don't want to say too much. That, and I never really say too much about a game's story in a review. In Red Dead Redemption, you are, of course, John Marston. Government officials have given John the task of tracking down Bill Williamson and other members of his former gang, which of course is led by Dutch Vanderlyn. I love these characters. It's difficult to describe how I feel when playing Red Dead Redemption 1 versus Red Dead Redemption 2. You see these characters in a much different light at times while playing Red Dead Redemption 2. If you've played 1 before 2, you have this bittersweet feeling of, Red Dead Redemption 1 is awesome, but I don't want to play it now. Can we pretend some of these things never happened, please? I even found myself liking Dutch, even after all the scumbaggery he engaged in. Red Dead Redemption has all these great little side stories and characters of its own, not much different from some of the personalities that we see in 2. Bonnie McFarland and the Marshal were 2 of my favorites. One of the quests in the game include both of those characters, and even though it happens early, it's one of my favorite in all of the Red Dead games. Enemies come to tell law enforcement if they don't release one of their own, they'll rape and possibly kill Bonnie, so tread lightly. It's just, the whole thing from the cutscenes to the amazing voice acting was very believable, and an incredible quest, an incredible storyline. Super awesome. Great job, Rockstar. You're the best. So I think with a lot of that being said, and just so much that we know about Red Dead Redemption 1 as well as Red Dead Redemption 2, you will certainly care about more characters than just John and Abigail and Jack during your time here. Your favorite handful of characters will probably be a lot different than mine. Seeing Javier again after so much time away is one of this game's defining story moments. It doesn't seem to mean much at first when we originally played this game, but trust me, one of the game's defining moments. There is a lot to digest here, and I think I spent around 30 to 35 hours doing what was mostly anything to progress the main story. By the time you're done with Red Dead Redemption, whether you play it first or the second one first, so many more things will make a lot more sense. Something I've talked about before in Rockstar games like Red Dead Redemption as well as GTA is that, in my opinion, you don't really play as good men. I think sometimes they have good qualities. I think John Marston and characters like Arthur Morgan know that they're not good men, and also understand that they probably don't deserve the happiest of endings. A lot of these characters are not good men and women, and maybe some of them used to be. I think John tries to be, but he can never quite escape his past. History will always find a way to repeat itself and come back and haunt you. These characters have moments of greatness where you think, man, they can really change, but they can't, and I love the way that Rockstar writes that. I love it. Some of these characters have done so many things wrong to the point where I even question whether or not they deserve a second chance, and I believe in second chances. I can tell you guys without hesitation and without even having to think about it that Red Dead Redemption is one of my favorite games ever. It might be my favorite game ever. If you told me that Red Dead 1 is better than Red Dead 2, I wouldn't argue against that. If you told me that Red Dead 2 is better than Red Dead 1, I wouldn't have much to say about that either. These games are that good. And as far as I'm concerned, this sort of stuff from Rockstar is Rockstar at their best. Even after just spending a little bit of time with Red Dead Redemption, and especially Red Dead 2, because the attention to detail is just far higher, far greater than other Rockstar games in that particular game, I start thinking to myself, can I even enjoy GTA at this point? It's so toned down. It's so scaled back with the violence and, again, the attention to detail. And I love GTA. I just think that the Red Dead stuff is so much better at this point. Red Dead Redemption, again, simply one of the best games ever created. It's my favorite game from last generation, with Fallout New Vegas being a very, very close second. I hope we don't have to wait 8 years for another one, and it would still be nice to get some story DLC for Red Dead Redemption 2. I know it's just crazy wishful thinking, but I love these games. It's pure greatness from Rockstar, and I hope they make many, many more. Thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this review. Take care. Have a good one. Peace.
They make me go